Someone asked me some really good questions about fasting. First of all, is fasting for children? It is not medically recommended that someone who is still growing would fast. Now, does that mean that a child can participate in a fast? Well, yeah, they can. Maybe, if you grew up like me, it was a Little Debbie and a glass of milk every night, something that I really looked forward to, and boy, do I like sugar. So while a child is still feeding nutritionally for their health, maybe they can participate in a fast by maybe fasting sugar or one of their favorite snacks or a food or something like that. But remember, the point of it all is not just to abstain from food, but it's to produce a desire, that we exchange that desire for something that would feed our flesh to something that would feed our spirit. And so in that way, you can help your children to participate in a period of fasting along with you. And then the question was, what are the different kinds of fast? Because the person had the same fear that we all do. I don't know if I can do this. So before I tell you the different kinds of fast, let me address this. You probably can't do this fasting thing. You're going to need God's help, and you're going to need His grace. You're going to need His strength. But that's kind of the point. To feel the hunger. You ought to feel it. It ought to be hard. There ought to be something inside of you that is wanting to go after that physical thing that the Bible calls it in Philippians, the God of our belly. And we're trying to wean ourselves off of the God of the belly, and we're really trying to be filled with the Spirit. And there is a sweet spot in fasting in which those physical hungers become spiritual appetites. You exchange that desire for food and make it a reminder to go after God. And boy, there is just this part of this seamlessness. Yes, you are still feeling that physical hunger, but man, it becomes a spiritual desire, and you begin to experience things in the Lord and in prayer and in His Word that it's just better than food. And I can't explain it unless you do it. So I would encourage you, get hungry somehow. So what are the different kinds of fast that you may engage in? One is the total fast. That is food and water. I've never done a fast like that. I've never even attempted a fast like that. I would not recommend a fast like that without supervision. If you live by yourself, don't do that. Somebody needs to be around, and somebody needs to really be watching you, and you need to know your body. And I would not go into a total fast unless the Lord is really leading me to do that. So the next kind of fast is simply a food fast. That's where you would abstain from eating any kind of food, but you might supplement with different kinds of liquid. Yes, you need to drink a lot of water whenever you fast. But in a food fast, you can still drink some fruit juices and some things like that, maybe something that provides a little bit of protein. I wouldn't just constantly be drinking fruit juices or protein shakes. That curbs that hunger, and that's not really the point. And so all you're really trying to do is, maybe if you've got some weakness or shakiness in your body, you're just trying to kind of push past that point, and so you're just barely supplementing those things with some kinds of liquids that help you along. And then there are partial fasts. And in partial fast, maybe you fast different kinds of food. I've done a fast where I fasted from meat for 30 days. Maybe you're going to fast from sugar. There is what a lot of people call from the Bible the Daniel fast, where you're eating vegetables and non-processed things, maybe some nuts and some berries and some things like that. You're not putting seasoning on it. It's really just kind of taking away all the things that make food good and just really eating very natural things and not eating a whole lot of it at that. And just really using that to seek the Lord. If you saw the video that I did with nurse practitioner Cindy Hall, she talked about maybe if you can't physically, because of diabetes or some kind of medical condition, a heart condition, maybe you go down to only eating 500 calories a day. You're going to feel the hunger if you do that. I've done a fast that, man, the Lord used in a lot of ways. It was kind of an intermittent fasting. Maybe you don't eat from sundown until sundown the next day. Maybe you take out one meal, or maybe you take out two meals. Maybe you go for a period of 12, 15, or 18 hours in an intermittent fast. Some people use that for the health benefit of it, and there are a lot of good health benefits of it. But remember, we're not dieting. We're fasting. We're seeking the Lord. So whatever you do, you really need to go after God. Are there fasts that you can use that don't involve food at all? Well, yes. Maybe you fast television, maybe you fast your computer, maybe you fast your phone, different kinds of media, and the Lord can do great things in that. But remember, the point is not to take the easy road. So if you're only doing that because you're like, man, I don't know if I can do this food thing, you're not really getting into the spirit of it. If we're getting rid of things that we ought to be getting rid of anyway, that's not really the point, right? We ought to be doing that just for our holiness and our ongoing relationship with the Lord. Remember, the point is to produce the hunger. I like the way that Jensen Franklin says it in his book about fasting. Man, if it matters to you, it's going to matter to God. And so you're really looking for that thing that He's leading you into in that deeper place, so that you are denying the physical appetite and you're getting into that place where you're going to be filled with the Spirit. So, man, good questions. And, at Liberty, we're getting ready for a fast at the beginning of the year. And those questions kind of made me think, man, maybe there's other questions that you have, things that I haven't addressed either in these videos or in the sermons where we're learning to fast. So several ways that you can send me a message, and I'll try to answer it for you. On Twitter, it's at Brian Branham. You can follow me there, send me a direct message, send me a tweet. I'd love to hear from you and answer that. You can email me at brian@libertybaptistchurch.ws. You can go to my website, feelmyfaith.com. And you can email me there, brian@feelmyfaith. I'm also on Facebook. You can send me a message through Facebook as well. So, hey, great questions as we are learning to fast. Let's go after those deeper things of God. Really start kind of working your way up to this. Maybe you're kind of training for it like I am, experiencing some short fasts before you try some longer ones, just to know where you are, what you're going to feel, what your struggles are going to be. Starting to wean yourself off of certain things. Remember what Cindy said in that video, binging is bad. So we're really kind of working our way through it and to it. But the point is, man, we are going after God. And it's kind of like I said in the sermon on Sunday. There's got to be brokenness before there are breakthroughs. So let's continue exploring and learning how to fast and go after the Lord.